My God, what a terrible start here. All because a README file exists in the code base. In today's video, we're covering Grok Code Fast 1. Is it a good model? Is it a terrible model? We're building a web application and comparing it to GPT-5 to see how it actually performs. So let's dive right in. Normally, I would have said that this is my very first time testing it. I wanted to do this with a live test drive, never having tried it again, experience everything with you in real time, and then comment on my thoughts as what I'm experiencing. However, you won't believe this. I feel so dumb for doing this. I spent the last hour recording a video on this, and I didn't record the audio. My microphone, it has a button that you press that turns off the audio, and so it was pressed over here and the audio was off. And so I went through the entire tutorial. It was like 45-minute tutorial, recording content. And then when I went to start editing, I saw that I had no audio. So it was just me sharing a screen, mouthing words with no audio. My God, I felt terrible. So this will be my second time doing this with you all. I'm still going to follow through the whole process. I think it will ultimately be better because I now have a lot of ideas what I want to do and what I want to see. And so anyways, second take. We're going to do this live. You're going to see everything that happens, and we're going to talk about what we see here. So I already set up this empty folder here called Grok Test 2. Yeah, you'll notice the 2 at the end. And I added this requirements document here. Now, one of the beautiful things that I've had the experience over the entire 2025 is that I've vibe coded probably 15 different applications on so many different services. Replit, V0, Lovable. I've used Cursor. I've used GPT-5. I've used VS Code, GitHub Copilot. Now I'm about to use Grok Code Fast 1. I've used so many models and I try to build so many different applications. And one of the ones I've been working on over many years is a vision board application. I've iterated on it so many times, decided so many different kinds of features that I want to see and not see inside of our application. And so I've developed this comprehensive requirements document for what I want my vision board application to look like. And now I'm using this as a benchmark for the different LLMs to see how they actually create the web application. And we're going to use exactly this to build our vision board application here today. So I added this requirements document. We're going to select our model, which is going to be called Grok Code Fast 1 Preview right here. I'll show you how to turn it on later once Grok is going. But in general, yeah, let's go ahead and say build. Let's go. And let's see how fast it is and how efficient it is. So they're touting, this is the first thing that I already saw in my previous video that I don't like. Like, it's requiring an empty folder to continue. Like, why is that the case? What a terrible developer experience. And so, okay, let's create a new folder then. Like, really, you couldn't handle a markdown file? Okay, bring this over here. There you go. There's your empty folder, Grok. Here you go. All right. Can you code now? And of course, it doesn't have the requirements in here. All right, let's continue. Let's see what happens. I mean, it lost the requirements, which is very annoying. Oh, it's adding Copilot instructions. Okay, that's interesting, especially because it's using Grok Code Fast 1. But okay, let it use Copilot instructions. And now it's adding requirements. This is not the requirements that I want. No. So this is already a crazy mess up in this entire flow. I'm going to stop this. We're going to come here and we're going to add a requirements document. Where the requirement? Oh, it's this. No, this is not what we want. Okay, we'll replace this. Here are my requirements. Way better. All right. So off to a really rough start. You know what I think could be really cool is if we apply the same exact prompt to GPT-5 in Cursor and see what it does there as well. That would be a really interesting test. One other thing, like, why is it now removing the GitHub folder? This is interesting. A lot of weird, interesting stuff. Now it's moving the requirements to avoid Next.js scaffold issues. Oh my goodness. This is a mess. This is off to a worse start than last time. All right. This is the other experience that I don't really like about VS Code is the fact that you have to allow it to continue through every command versus something like a Claude Code. You can actually just have it automatically stepping through all of the steps. for a number of cycles without the user having to be involved. But we'll wait and see what happens here. While it does that, why don't we pull up Cursor and compare VS Code and compare GPT-5 versus Grok Code Fast 1. So let's see here. So here we are in a clean directory. Why don't we add requirements as well and paste those in? And now we've got our GPT-5 open here. And why don't we go ahead and say, look at that. All right, it's planning and going. What do we got going on here? So this is doing something. It's stuck. It's prompting me here. Oh my God. Yes, yes. Okay, we're just going to default here. Oh my God. What a terrible start here. All because a file exists, a README file exists in the code base. All right, so it's created the scaffolding. What's next? It says it's working. So we'll wait to see what is next. Oh my God, so it lost my requirements. This is a mess. What a terrible experience. Let's see what GPT-5 is up to. GPT-5 also wants me to go through these steps, but it was able to handle a requirements file. Great, it's moving. All right, it's working. Let me show you what is XAI's Grok Code Fast 1 all about. So what they're claiming is this is a fast, definitely not. Cost efficient, not sure. Lean, yeah, it seems lean, so lean that it can't overcome a single file in a repository. Tailored for real world software development workflows. I have no idea who decided that, because right now my software development workflow is absolutely terrible. So they're working on speed and efficiency, and they are currently on GitHub Copilot and Windsurf. I'll show you how to enable it on GitHub Copilot. Yes, continue. So it's moving along here. So in order to add this to your Copilot, if you have the capability, you can come here and click Manage Chat. You'll get a window that opens up like this in your UI. And then you'll be able to come down here and enable different kinds of features. So you will see here for XAI Grok Code Fast 1 and enable it. I enabled it previously. You can enable other models as well. If you're unable to set that up, you probably need a Copilot Pro Plus subscription. I believe it's like $20 or $30 a month. All of them are $20 or $30 a month. So you can get that subscription. It'll also give you access to GitHub Spark, which is another vibe coding tool that allows you to generate web applications, but that's how you enable that. So while this is going, let's take a look at other claims from Grok AI. So in terms of popularity today of token usage, Grok Code Fast 1 is in second place, probably because it's new. Yeah, new, and everybody's curious about it. Market share, XAI is down here at number 9 with Google at the top. Here's in programming, Grok Code Fast 1 is getting the most tokens right now, probably again because it's new, but yeah, Claude Sonnet 4 is typically the leader. Wow, I'm surprised GPT-5 is down where it is. Probably because GPT-5 has been disappointing for a lot of people. It's been a lot more hype than actual value from GPT-5. And they did a lot of things that developers don't like. Running tests. Let's let this iterate here. It's way better that it runs tests and iterates for us than us having to revisit and fix all of the issues. GPT-5 is chugging along here. It says it's 16.8% complete, and it keeps moving along here. I'm actually just going to move it on the side so that it can keep going. But check out the difference between the Cursor UI and the VS Code UI. I mean, first of all, this experience from GPT-5 is super nice. You get the thoughts with everything that's happening here. I also really like this progress here in terms of how much context has been used. And it just seems cleaner versus what we got going on in the chat of Copilot here. There's a lot going on in here. We got these file changes. Can we even collapse this? We can't collapse this. So this is like constantly visual here, unless I guess I accept everything. And then I got to keep pressing this continue button for it to keep moving forward. So look at this vibe coding thread here. Talk about Grok Code Fast 1 is absolutely amazing. It's super fast. It's not. We see how not fast it is. Unlimited usage. That's really cool if that is the case. Code quality is good. That's to be figured out later. Let's see how it's doing. Yeah, it's certainly not fast. The fact that it can't implement some automated tests and it's taking it this long to get through the vision board, that's not fast. I've seen, for example, GPT-5 do it way better. All right, so now it says the tests are finished. So let's try to run our app. 3001. Yeah, I mean, come on. So according to Google Gemini, the pricing details are as follows. 20 cents per million tokens and 150 per million output tokens and 2 cents per million cached tokens. 256,000 token context window. Yeah, I mean, that's cheap, but so for comparison, GPT-5 is $1.25 per million input and $10 per million output. So that's like 6x more expensive here and like X more expensive here. Context window, 256,000 tokens. The context window for GPT-5 is higher, and Claude 4 is just insanely expensive. So expensive. All right, this is the output. It's very similar to what I saw in my first iteration. Actually, this UI is a little bit better. So it looks like maybe the requirements that we had helped, but where is the rest of the functionality? Like, these are broken images. Where are the buttons to operate the goals? How do I add anything? Is there even a dashboard? Where's the dashboard? Like, this is missing so many features. This is absolutely terrible. I mean, yes, it's cheaper than GPT-5, but imagine spending all of this time to produce absolutely worthless garbage. Not good at all. Let's see if it can even finish the application. What a disappointment. But one thing we do know about Elon Musk, hold on. So here's where we're at with GPT-5. It was asking me about polishing UI accessibility next. I don't need that. I want to see the finished application. So look at that. All tasks are complete. I barely had to touch it. I told it to keep going a few times. Let's run it. Let me run this here. Oh, I see it created a new folder called web. Let's go there. There we go. Localhost 3001. What's going on here? This isn't much better, actually. Oh, okay. All right. That was an interesting loading state, but okay, here's our vision board. The dark and light mode doesn't work. This is what it looks like. Interesting use of text here, but there are a bunch of interesting requirements here. I think that was my requirements document that did a terrible job. Oh, interesting. It's just using this as a way to demo endpoint. Nope. Achievements, vision board. Yeah, so I mean, obviously this is better than what Grok did. At least it was able to create a bunch of images and a bunch of goals. This creation of each goal is terrible because it has to take in an image URL. The Y is limited to 280 characters. Why was that decision made? And then you create it, I guess, like this. But of course, if I have to supply an image now, I can't just create a vision board. So this is better, but actually not good version of my vision board that I've seen before. But you could see it was more seamless of an experience versus Grok, which really struggled. But let's finish up here. All right, so it says here that it's completed all the testing. Let's run this and see what that looks like. Yeah, not much better. Add goal, taking an image URL. That's the problem. Yeah, this is absolutely terrible. I give up. I mean, that's the summary right there of Grok Fast 1 is it's not working well at all. And yes, it is cheap. Is it fast? I don't think so. It didn't seem any faster to me than GPT-5, for example. And the fact that we had to deal with so many errors from the output that it generated actually slowed it down. And so then, yes, it's cheap, but who cares when it can't produce you the outcome that you desire? It's like paying money for something that's not valuable. In general, not very satisfied with Grok Fast 1. GPT-5 so far seems to do the best job. Claude 4.1 also does a good job, so I'll continue to stick to those models. However, one thing that we do have to remember is that this is Elon Musk, and you don't bet against Elon Musk. This guy may not always deliver on the time that he promises, but he always delivers what he promises. What we know is that this is going to get better at a faster rate than any of the other products. And at some point, it will probably exceed all the other models. So keep an eye out for it. Right now, I wouldn't waste your time on it, but in the future, keep watching it get better because I'm sure that it will. What are your thoughts? Did you try Grok Fast 1? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And what other tutorials do you want me to make Friends, I use your feedback and comments to make the most valuable tutorials that I can. My purpose in life is to elevate how the world creates technology, and your feedback is absolutely valuable. So leave me your feedback, give me thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you like it, and let me know what you want to see next, and I'll be sure to create it for you. All right. Otherwise, I've been Nikolai Volodkin, founder and chief engineer at UltimateQA, where we're elevating how the world creates technology through web development, automated software testing, and trying to build in some of these AI tools in the entire process, however they work. Anyways, I've had such a beautiful day. I hope you have as well. Take care, my friends.